Hello and welcome to Cadenza. We talk a lot about relationships here on Cadenza because it seems that relationships are at the very foundation of most, if not all, songs. Perhaps not romantic relationships or even interpersonal relationships, but relationships just the same. A song can reflect our association with people, individually or collectively, our association with things, our association with events, feelings, and so on. They present a point of view on things that may seem uniquely solitary or on things that tap into the collective consciousness. I think that's how you know whether you like a song or not, and maybe it's too much to say like, at least on the first listen, but there certainly needs to be something that grabs you, the listener's ear, and gets you to hone in on pay attention to the music to ponder what your association to the message might be. This exchange takes place even with songs without lyrics because the music connects with something that is exclusively and uniquely within you, and you experience that connection like no other human being can. It's your experience. Even when two people or 1,000,000 people enjoy the same song so much that it rockets right to the top of the charts and stays there for all eternity, no two people will relate to the song in exactly the same way. I've always wondered about the connections between people. What draws certain ones together? What pushes certain ones apart? Is it eternally ordained that those factors will exist, or is it more of an in-the-moment thing, and then that on any other day, under different circumstances, any one of 1,000,000,000 potential connections could be hit or miss? Then there's the question of an eternal connection. Eternal by human standards, meaning people who choose to be together and do the hard work of staying together and finding value and meaning in maintaining that relationship up until the end, and even then, a bit more. That is the relationship nook we are exploring today. I know people who have been in lifelong relationships and have seen those relationships end. Not a ton of them, mind you, but enough to get an idea as to how the remaining partner must now manage the heavy burden of their loss and try to move on, alone. Those lifelong partnerships never seem to end when both parties are ready to go. Inevitably, someone must go first, and all of the remaining world is left for the surviving partner to manage. We don't like to think of such things. They feel unpleasant and sad, even to the observer, and it has seemingly little to do with the machinations of day-to-day life and practically everything to do with the division of two souls who functioned as a single unit almost for forever, or as forever as you can get. This is the notion that I started to stew on when I wrote The Other Part of Me. It's probably easy to think of how you might behave or what you might think you are inclined to feel when your partner passes away. And it presents a much different dynamic than a breakup or other division because of the finality of one person's exit, the void they leave behind, and the perceived permanence of it all. They are there, and then they are gone. But I guess you never really know how you will be affected until you go through it. Some people may never go through it. I think we probably push off those thoughts of an eventual end because they are weighty and hard and sad and mostly foreign, especially if everyone involved is mostly healthy and such. It may also come with a self-conscious sense of guilt-ridden morbidity to even wonder, what would happen if one day... Oh, how dare I wonder that? It's not like making a wish. It's easier to think about things happening tomorrow or the next day or never. I imagine it's even easier to push it off if you feel you have your house in order so that if something happens, you have an understanding that all will be well for the other if one leaves. Mostly. Still, that's a sort of material safety net that has little to do with managing emotional loss. You can understand why we exercise a sort of mental procrastination when considering the end of our universe as we perceive it. And when it happens, the two that essentially became one, or one team, or one unit, however you define it, is now halved and one is now left to function alone, the eternal question of what to do now becomes unavoidable. The context of my song considers the position that the new emptiness at a certain point in life may feel unbearable and heavy to the point where there is no motivation to do anything if it means leaving the other partner behind, in any sense. The loss is consuming, and your desire to pick yourself up and dust yourself off just feels wrong. It may come eventually, but in that moment when that loss is most profound, it's that sense of broken emptiness that can feel all-consuming. Before the recovery, in those moments of solitary sadness, the new sense of being alone and in many ways on your own is the burden to master. It took a while to write this song. I started it in 1990, and I finished it in 2012. That's a long time. Honestly, it might have been shuffled away for a bit here and there, but that also means that in my writing process, one part came fast and felt strong, but the rest of it was slow in coming and felt disconnected in some way from the first bits. I try to note the dates when I add or make edits as I work on songs, for fun. And this one has a lot of dates in the notes, so I tinkered with it quite a bit. Plus, I think you have to be in a certain headspace to write a song like this. Still, after 22 years, I guess it found its way to being mostly done. So let's explore. Here's the other part of me. She awoke in the morning from a night of restless dreams, where a faceless body screams out, "You're alive." Then she stares at the mirror, taking stock of body aches, rubbing at the circles near her eyes. And she welcomes the coffee, something warm to fill her up. Once his hand, but now this cup of wine. She retrieves the morning paper, looking out into the sky, wishing for another day to say goodbye. When she clears the table, the reporter on TV says another normal day has gone by. And the light turns to darkness, she runs her fingers through her hair. One more hand of solitaire, oh my. And she steps to the bedroom, she says a silent, solemn prayer to any angels who may care, oh please. Stop this endless cycle, all my work down here is done. Take me home to the other part of me. As she steps to the bedroom, she says a silent, solemn prayer to any angels who may dare, oh please. Stop this endless cycle, all my work down here is done. Take me home to the other part of me. Until next time, play freely.